Today we're going to be looking at Micro Monthly's 18 Goatkin. This issue is the GOAT. All right, today we're going to be looking at Micro Monthly's 18. This Micro Monthly came out February 2026, and it's all about Goatkin. All right, let's take a look at what Goatkin are. This is really a Micro Monthly for players. It's going to be having different species abilities for you, species in this, mainly the Goatkin. The Goatkin are going to be interesting because, well, they're goats, you know? So they've got this death save of D8. That means the Goatkin are super hardy to kill, but they also have only a mind of D4, so they're likely to go crazy or to fall into an endless slumber. Goatkin have horns, and they also have 3 different optional specials, which you've got to choose one for the Goatkin. You can either pick Iron Gut, basically they can eat anything, the ingested poisons don't hurt them, or you can choose High Jump, which means they can jump 3 times their height. This matches what we see with satyrs and with rabbit folk. Or they could be fire resistance. They get resistance to fire. So all 3 of these are pretty decent options. And then with horns, allowing them to do unarmed strikes as full damage instead of half. And they can deal piercing damage right off the bat. Makes them pretty good to play with. But besides goats, we also have sheep. So sheep have wool, which give them resistance to bludgeoning. And they also have horns, or they could have communal bond. And so communal bond is when you are within 3 meters of 2 or more of your allies, you gain advantage on all saving throws. So if you've got a bunch of sheepkin running around together, they're gonna basically make their saves all the time. Next, we've got llamakin, and llamakin have this special where they can spit. They can use their unarmed attacks as ranged attacks. So that's pretty cool to start off with. And then they also have this pack rat, where they can carry things around. Pack rat is originally a feat, but now it's this special that llama can have so they can carry stuff around with them. And this goes back to their lore of them living in the mountains. So I should note too that the body saves and mind saves of sheepkin and llamakin have changed, so they're a little bit different. So sheepkin have a spirit of D4, so they're likely to flee or run away, but llamakin have a mind of save of D8. So llamakin tend to be mages and use that to their advantage, and that's why I drew this little guy as a mage here. All right, lastly, we've got the Snogrots. So I always want to like an abominable snowman type creature in this game. I think they're cool, but I didn't want to just do like an abominable snow creature, so I'm adding a Snogrot, and Snogrots are basically built for the cold. These are really heavy sort of melee characters, which I was envisioning them as, so they've got 4d12 HP. That's a heck of a lot of HP to start out with. You could be starting the game with 48 HP. That is ridiculous when the average is 20. So Snogrots have this huge benefit there. Now their spirit save is a D4, but that ties in to this optional special of short-tempered. So you have disadvantage on spirit saves, and when your spirit save drops, you go into a frenzy. That means you're going to be attacking the nearest thing around you. Whoever the nearest character is, you gotta attack them. And while frenzy, you have advantage on all your attacks. So basically they just freak out and go into a rage whenever they get scared. And that means they're going to be really great at being the go and hitter. They basically go Hulk on people. Now they are built for the cold, which means they start with cold resistance, but they also have vulnerability to fire. And with wool, that matches up with the sheepkin wool, they have resistance to bludgeoning and cold damage. Now, unfortunately, these 2 things do not stack. So they don't get like immunity to cold. They just have double resistance to cold, which really doesn't mean anything, but that's how these feats are worded. Now, to add in a few extra things for your game, I've also given you some extra childhood locations. You can find the original childhood locations in the player's tome, but I wanted to add something unique and new. So normally you get an advantage and a disadvantage that you have to pick, but for the mountain ranges here, I've given you 2 advantages and 2 disadvantages. So it's like double. So you could have, if you're in the valley 1 through 3, you get an advantage on a social and an advantage on another social, and a disadvantage on an environmental and a disadvantage on another environmental. Or if you're at the mountaintop, you get advantage on an environmental and 2 disadvantages, 2 on social, and then you also gain a secret. If you're at the false apex, you get an advantage on environmental, another advantage on environmental, a disadvantage on social, disadvantage on social. So you can get double of these. Now, if you're in lower mountain, higher mountain, it's kind of like a normal thing. You get advantage on social, disadvantage on environmental, so on and so forth. You get the idea. Now, this one I think is kind of interesting. The cave is you gain low light vision. Low light vision means you can see well in the dark, but in light areas you can't see well. So it's kind of like this trade-off. And you have disadvantage on social. So cave is the most interesting one because you gain a sort of like quasi feat of a special sense, but you also gain a disadvantage on social for that. So that's up to you if you want to pick it. But if you want to play some sort of golem-like creature, the cave would be a good place for you to start. Now, I've given a couple of different apprenticeships here. You can be a mountaineer, and this is like people going up in the mountains, and they have each of these give us something different. Like if you find a rock nest, you're going to be exploring, you find this rock, which is a giant bird, and you somehow escape. You got to describe what that is, and then you increase your athletics, increase your navigation nature, increase your dodge, and then you gain a secret. So that one's pretty good. And then for the apprenticeship, a mountain hermit, you've got a bunch of different options here. You could have a sick friend. You cared for a sick and elderly friend until they recently passed. Describe the friend, increase medicine, increase aether, gain a secret. So there are a couple of things here where you can gain secrets on different ways as the mountain. You know, and my idea of a mountain, you go up on the mountain and you sort of commune with the elements, you commune with nature, and then you sort of find a new thing, a new way of seeing that other people don't get because you're able to spend that time in solitude. And so there's quite a bit of ways of gaining secrets here on the mountains. Then to round things out, I've given you a couple of new classes that you can pull from. So we've got the Climber and the Wand Maker. The Climber, I think this is really powerful. You have Weather Wand here. You have resistance to fire and cold. So even if you're not playing a Snogrot and you wanted to get that, you could gain that ability. Or if you wanted to negate the vulnerability to fire, you could take that. Now, again, having another resistance of cold doesn't help you out, but it's not like the best option, but it could be something if you wanted to mitigate that problem. Or you can get, there's Pack Rat again. We've got Fall Reflex, which was just with Goatkin, but now you have it here on Climber. You have advantage on being tripped or knocked prone, and in addition, you have resistance to fall damage. So pretty great if you're going to be climbing in the mountains. For Roper, if you have a rope, you can cuff and restrain a character as an action. Make a melee attack if it hits the target is cuffed and restrained. So now you've basically tied up this creature. Probably the best combat feat here for these climbers. Then for Wand Maker, I wanted to have somebody that was really about crafting wands. So I never really done that before in Along the Ley Line. You've got the Juggler feat from Micro Monthly's number 2, the Raconteers. But and they can juggle wands, but nothing really specifically with wands for feats. And so I tried to do this here with the Wand Maker. Specifically, we've got this Wand Whittler. You have advantage when you craft wands. You have advantage on your resonance checks when you use wands you made. So the way that wands work is they have a very specific spell on them, and sort of the risk comes in when you make the wand. But then using the wand, if it fails, and it fails on a 1, a 2, or a 3, and then it just sort of erodes in your hand, you don't lose any mind for that. So if you're carrying around a bunch of wands, you can cast a bunch of spells with minimal risk to your mind. It's just being prepared. Now, the other thing that you can do here with Wand Maker is you can get double enchantment. When you make enchanted items, you place an additional effect on the item. For wands, your wand can hold 2 spells. When the wand is used, both spells take effect. For other magic items, talk with your referee about what this will look like. So you kind of have to do a little bit of making rules when somebody's going to be making an item, but hopefully this should be fun for you, especially if you're going to be making wands. You can like stack a couple of items on it. And then if you combine it with Juggler and Wand Juggler, you could really have a character that is just walking around loaded with a ton of spells and ready to fire them all off. Now, we've got a couple of other things here. We've got Wand App and Spellcasting and Focus Crafter. You can make focuses and you can use any wand as a spell focus. So that means that even if you've got your wands, you don't have to worry about carrying another spell focus, another item with you. Lastly, I think this is sort of an interesting one here, Aether Sense. You can tell the color and effects of ley lines by looking at them. In addition, for any magic item, once per day, you can take a dungeon turd to make an Aether check, target 3, to determine what the magic item does. You have advantage on resonance checks for items that you have done this with. So if you take the time to kind of learn what the magic item is, you get advantage on your resonance checks when you use it. And so this could be a really, really powerful item, a powerful feat for a character who's got a bunch of different magic items. So that's sort of it for this Goatkin, which we've got a couple of classes. We've got not only goats, we've got sheep, llamas, and now Snogrots. We've got a new childhood location. We've got climbers and wand makers. So a pretty jam-packed micro monthly for players. I hope you go and check it out. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you use Goatkin in your games. I hope you enjoy running around as these things that apparently worship weird cultists. I hope all of your tables are full of fun and fellowship. You can find this issue and many more on my Substack, link in the description below. Please like and subscribe to see more of this kind of content. Thanks for watching. I hope all your games are full of dread and laughter.